Hi everyone. We are at East 31st and Park Avenue, and I am walking northbound on Park Avenue. So I just left home. It's around noonish, I think, and it's really a nice day. A bit cloudy, but nice all the same. It's not too cold. It's a nice fall day. So I just left the condo, which is on 29th, between 5th and Madison, and I just walked over to Park Avenue, which is about 2 blocks east of where we are, and I'm gonna walk straight up Madison Avenue or Park Avenue and through the Grand Central Terminal, and I need to walk up to 77th. And if you can see in the distance there, that is MetLife, the MetLife building. And that's located at 200 Park Avenue. It was built in 1963, but it was originally built and was called the Pan Am building. So if you remember Pan Am Airlines, I'm not sure when they went defunct or if they were bought out or what, but apparently Pan Am Airlines was very luxe-like for traveling. Now, I'm not going to go underneath the scaffolding because that's kind of boring. You won't see much. So I'm going to cross over to the west side of Park Avenue. So today my errand's taking me from Midtown, where we're located, to the Upper East Side. So I'm walking from 29th up to 77th. So I'm going through Midtown and part of the Upper East Side. So where we are, the Midtown, New York, you're going to see Times Square, Broadway theaters, canyons of skyscrapers, and bustling crowds, to say the least. Midtown is super busy. And then going up to the Upper East Side, there's high-end boutiques and sophisticated mansions. The architectural designs are incredible, and that's where the Museum Mile is. I did walk down 5th along Central Park, and the camera probably viewed over to where the Museum Miles, or where the museums are. I know I pointed out the Guggenheim. So I'm walking up, but I'll be walking east of 5th. But I'm going to take you through Grand Central Terminal. The Grand Central Terminal is really impressive, actually. I can't wait to show you. Now, when we were in New York last, I did a video, but I can't remember whether I showed you Grand Central or not. So I'm going to take you through there. But last night, David and I went to a play. We went to the Stephen Sondheim Theater, and we saw a musical. It's a new musical. It's called And Juliet, like the ampersand sign, Juliet. So And Juliet. And a totally different take on Romeo and Juliet. Extremely well done. We were second row central, so we were up close and personal. We could see, the actors' makeup. It was a pretty cool location. The only thing was I found that I was straining my neck. So, but I really got into the musical in the second part after intermission. There were 2 parts, first and second, and so after intermission I really got into it because the music, I think I preferred the music in the second part, or the second half of the play, and it was so well done. And so just to give you a little bit of insight or a little bit of information there, so Romeo and Juliet was written by William Shakespeare, and William Shakespeare was married to Anne Hathaway, and Anne Hathaway plays a very predominant role in the musical, and she was probably my favorite character. The lead character was Juliet, but Anne Hathaway, William Shakespeare's wife, played a lead role, and her character and her performance, there was just something about that character that really appealed to me. She was this very strong woman. And the play as Anne Juliet as it is, it's because of her influence. So it's quite a different take from, as I mentioned, the Romeo and Juliet that you and I know. It's just has a really great spin and a different ending. I really could appreciate it. At first I wasn't sure. I'm not that keen on musicals. But it actually was really well done. And the other thing that I guess as part of the evening was maybe more of an experience, I'll say, was the person next to me. I don't know if she was under the influence. Now, I don't know I'm just going to point out, I don't know if you can see the tip of the Chrysler building. Hopefully you can. Anyhow, so this person sitting next to me was being rather demonstrative. And one of the things that you do when you're in the theater is you don't distract from the play for the viewer or the actors. And she was being quite distracting. And but she was told. There were other people, of course, around us that were distracted by her behavior. And she was rather indirectly told by staff to take it down a notch. So, that was an experience unto itself. And it was raining all day yesterday, so we didn't have far to walk. It was about a 25-minute walk from the condo to the theater. Regrettably, it was rainy, so when we got there, even though we had an umbrella, rain clothes, we still were wet because 25 minutes when it's really raining out, you feel it. But didn't disturb the play for us at all, and then we had a nice walk home. And we watched on Netflix last night I can't remember the name of the movie, but it talks about how Michael Jordan signed up with Nike and how that relationship began, and sort of the people behind Air Jordan and that whole amazing merchandising campaign. So worthwhile watching if you don't necessarily have to be a fan of watching sports type movies. It's just the story behind it that was really intriguing, really well done, and it shone a light on both David and I as to the whole story behind it. Not that we really gave it much thought, but to watch a fact-based movie. I think there was certainly some dramatization, but it just told the story apparently in pretty much true form of how that relationship occurred. Really interesting. It kept us watching. There was no downtime. There was no boring or lulls throughout the show. So would recommend it. And the play, as I mentioned, was really good. So we saw two good shows, one live and one on Netflix. So this is a lovely Sunday afternoon in New York City. I'm having a love affair with New York. We leave in 6 days, so we leave next Saturday, so it's less than a week away we leave, driving back to Toronto. And as much as I love Toronto and love my home, I want to stay. I want to stay a lot longer here. Everywhere we go, guys, we're walking. We've taken the subway a couple of times, but there's really no need. Everything here is in walking distance. You know, experiencing the life of a New Yorker as best as we can has been a phenomenal bucket list experience. Looking up into the sky. And now there's Grand Central Terminal. Okay, I'm going to read to you a little bit of what I have here on the Grand Central Terminal. It was built in 1903 to 1913. And apparently 500,000 people pass through this terminal every day. There are 8.5 million people in New York City. Visitors as of 2021 were 32.9 million. And of those, about 3 million were international visitors. I'm loving my life as a New Yorker. I could be a full-time New Yorker. Everything I mentioned is on foot. There's all kinds of shopping within walking distance, from Trader Joe's to Saks to Target. I just feel so connected to the city. Oh, so the time says 12:30. If you can see the clock. Look at the building, the architecture, how beautiful it is. Okay, let's get into Grand Central. And let's talk a little bit about the building itself. So, there's been a lot of movies filmed in the Grand Central Terminal. One of my favorite movies was called Unfaithful with Richard Gere and Diane Lane. Both actors I really like a lot. Anyhow, that movie was like 2003, I think. And I still watch it from time to time. Really like it. Anyhow, there's a couple of times where the lead actress, Diane Lane, is in Grand Central Terminal. And the funny thing is, in that movie, she's going to use phone booths, like actual phone booths, because that probably was before the regular use or broad usage of cell phones. And I don't think there are any more telephone banks that I remember seeing, because we've been through here a few times since we've been in New York, and I can't say I recognize or remember seeing any phone booths. I'm sure they have to be around, right? But anyhow, as they were back in the day, they were, sort of banks of phone booths. Okay, here we go. So beautiful here. Our Union Station in Toronto does remind me of this Grand Terminal. Ours, of course, isn't as impressive nor as big, but it's nice. Our Union Station is very nice. Now I'm going to go up and give you a better view. Every time I come to New York, I have to visit this terminal. It's just so beautiful. So you can see this is also a shopping and dining destination, and it's a shortcut for pedestrians because I need to continue going north, so I'm going to exit out and it's going to take me to where I need to go so I don't have to go around. So yeah, it's a good thoroughfare for pedestrians. There are 2 subterranean levels of tracks spread out below ground from Madison to Lexington Avenue. The sky ceiling, which I'm going to point to shortly, is a mural. It's 150 feet above us, and it shows the mythological characteristics of the constellations. I can just feel the energy. It's like constant energy here. Years and years ago, David and I came here specifically, well, not specifically, we came during a visit to New York City, and David's an avid squash player. There was a squash event happening here. I can't remember where it was, what floor it was on, or where within Grand Central Station, but yeah, they had an event here, and we watched 2 famous squash players play squash. Well, hi everyone. We're on Park Avenue and 73rd Street. So I'm heading back south down on Park Avenue, and I need to go down to 34th to stop at Trader Joe's and then home on 29th. But I just wanted to record just bits and pieces of my walk down Park Avenue going south. So it looks like on 73rd Avenue they're having a block party. I guess that's a perfect thing to do on a Sunday afternoon in the Upper East Side. And I just need to show you how beautiful some of these buildings are, like gorgeous. And once we get past the trees, if I remember, I do want to show you, as I was walking up, some of the beautiful rooftops. Well, not on the rooftop, but I'm going to angle the camera up so you can see how beautiful some of these rooftops are. I hope you can see. With the trees and the balconies or the terraces, that very tall, the tallest building that I just angle the camera at. That looks so expensive. And so when I came through Grand Central, that's where I left off in one of my videos. I left off at Grand Central Terminal. And then I thought, well, I'm not sure how to get to where I'm going. That's why I stopped recording. So I just kept walking, and there were stairs that led me to 45th Street, and walked right through the Metropolitan Life insurance company building, the Met, what is it called? Yeah, MetLife. And then it brought me to the bottom of Park Avenue at 45th, which is the Helmsley building, which I want to show you. So I thought I would record parts of Park Avenue southbound. It's beautiful. Now on my walk up, it was a little bit, not that it's crowded at all, as you can see, the sidewalks, there's not a lot of people. But when I came up earlier, it was a little bit lighter as far as traffic and pedestrian traffic. Now, unfortunately, some of these buildings are so gorgeous, but you can see all the scaffolding. I mentioned it in a previous video about why all the scaffolding is in place, because of maintenance, building maintenance. You want to make sure pieces of these old historic buildings don't hurt anybody. Look at how beautiful, look how beautiful. Look at those terraces up there. Hopefully you can see they have flowers and some greenery on their terraces. How nice to live there. See, I'm walking against the light, and that's what New Yorkers do here. And while we're here, I consider myself a New Yorker. I'm a Calgarian, a Torontonian, and a New Yorker. That's how I see myself. For sure. And so there's a beautiful meridian with green grass. And reminds me a little bit of University Avenue in Toronto. I just love walking University Avenue. And I want to show you the Helmsley building once we get there. And you probably remember, I think it was late 90s, maybe early 2000. So Leona Helmsley, I think she started off as a secretary to, I could be wrong. Back in those days, they used the word secretary. I think to, what was his name, Herbert, or anyhow, Mr. Helmsley, who either was a hotel owner or a property development tycoon, I'm not sure. Anyhow, very wealthy. And they had the Helmsley Hotel. I think it's still called Helmsley, but it was a hotel. And anyhow, after he died, because he was considerably older than Leona Helmsley, when he died, she took over. But apparently, staff were, according to what I remember reading on or listening to on entertainment channels, that she was a tyrant and her staff were afraid of her. She took over the running of the Helmsley Hotel, but then I think something happened, and I know one of the things, I don't know exactly everything that happened, but I know one of the things that happened was, I think she was arrested. Was she arrested? There was some criminal act, I think it was the criminal act. Is defrauding on your taxes considered criminal? Not sure. Anyway, she it had something to do with taxes. I'm not sure if she was charged or if she was under house arrest. Anyhow, la-di-da-di-da, long story short, one of the phrases David reminded me that she had said, she's quoted as saying, is, taxes are for the little people. And I think that's what got her in trouble. Not the statement, of course, but the fact that she somehow either didn't pay taxes or didn't pay enough or something. It was a deliberate act of either not paying or underpaying. And I remember long ago, again, it was either in the 90s or early 2000s, where I watched an interview, and she came across, very authoritative, but nice. But I guess you are nice when you are being interviewed, for the most part. And she was very firm and deliberate in her answers. Like, she was well prepared for the interview questions, and I don't know specifically, but it was a typical, interview, how she's running her hotel, and sort of rags to riches, a little bit of that discussed. But anyhow, so we're going to come up to that. That's going to be, I think that's on 45th or 46th, because Park Avenue is interrupted, for lack of a better word, by the building of the Helmsley Hotel, and right behind that, of course, is MetLife. But the cool thing I discovered when I left Grand Central Terminal was I could walk right through. Except I couldn't walk right through the Helmsley Hotel. It seemed to be roped off. So I went outside and down half a block and then came back onto Park Avenue. But I do want to find the Waldorf Astoria. I found it when I was walking northbound. But first of all, I just want to point out here the Thompson Arts Center at Park Avenue Armory. Now I read something significant about this place, but I'll try and make a quick notation at the bottom as to what it was that I read about it. But it's there's something significant behind it other than the obvious. Look at this building. I'm not a fan of yellow brick, but I love the design. Like the windows and the architecture around the windows. And that section sort of right in the middle. I like that. More scaffolding. More netting. Yeah, look at how nice that building is. And I know the Waldorf Astoria is shrouded in scaffolding and netting. I just hope I don't forget to point it out or miss it.
They were saying that some look.
So it's early afternoon, and I'm heading back south on Park Avenue. And then I need to stop at Trader Joe's, which is on 32nd or 33rd and 3rd or 32nd and 2nd, something like that. I'll figure it out. And I love Trader Joe's. It's like a grocery store. They have a lot of their own name brand items and very reasonably priced. Look at the door here. That's just beautiful. Beautiful architecture, workmanship. Very top of that building, you can see some trees. Okay. Walking against the traffic. And I can't remember if I mentioned this to you or not, but people here are drivers and people. Nobody shouts at anybody. Nobody gets upset when you are blocking their lane. Nobody gets upset when pedestrians cross and it's the driver's right of way. Nobody gets upset. Now there is, of course, New York is historically known for honking, and a lot of that exists. But I've seen drivers more often than not just remaining calm and sitting in the middle of an intersection while somebody, cuts them off. And it's just sort of a different vibe here. In Toronto, we'd be honking horns. How dare you cut me off? Now, the honking that we do here, I'm not really always sure what that's about. Sometimes it's just for a driver to get across, like that driver that's honking wants to cut through to the other lane that the other driver is sitting in. So sometimes that's what I've noticed, is they just want to get into their lane or two lanes over. and you'll see a lot of that. You'll see a person making a left-hand turn, which you would make from the left hand, and you want to make a left-hand turn, and they do it from the outermost lane. Like, that's unheard of in Toronto. Like, you just don't see that. But here people have no problem turning from all lanes. And there you go. There it is. Now that honk from that white car was just telling the guy ahead of him to keep going and not to let the other driver in. And that's, again, another pattern that I'm noticing. I could be totally wrong. That just could be but that's just what I'm observing, or how I'm interpreting some of this horn honking. Okay, are they done? Yeah, clear to go. So I did, the errand that I ran today was I had ordered a pair of shoes, really good walking shoes, really soft upper covering my foot, and a really thick cushiony sole in black, of course. Just a slip-on shoe. I just find that I need to change up my footwear when I'm doing long walks from day to day. My feet just are more comfortable when I do that. And I only brought running shoes with me and my Bloodstone booties, but it's a bit hot some days to be wearing booties here. So, and I didn't bring shoes, and I don't really have really comfortable walking shoes. So we're going out for dinner tonight, and we're walking to a restaurant. We're going to a restaurant called Manhattan, and it's south of where we are. And if I remember to take a bit of a video, I will try and do that. But we want to walk there, of course, and walk back, and dare I try wearing a new pair of shoes. Could be risky. Okay, we are at 61st, I think. Now it's a bit cooler. I had to undo my jacket when I was walking northbound on Park earlier because I was hot. I kept my jacket undone, and it's more comfortable now that it's cooler. But the weather, all in all, has been pretty good. It did rain. So the day we arrived was beautiful, and I think the next day was as well, but then for like 5 days straight, it seemed 4 or 5 days straight, it was raining, which didn't stop us from going out and enjoying the city. And then it's been great. It was really great in the Hamptons. You should be seeing some footage of that if it might be posted before this. And since we've been back in the city, it's been great, other than yesterday. But that's okay. That is totally fine. Park Avenue is really nice, especially north of 45th. Like once we get past the Met, I shouldn't say the Met, once we get past MetLife on the other side of that structure, the other side of Grand Central Terminal, that's where it's mostly residential. I mean, there are certainly some businesses here, but a lot of residential. And hotels. I love this time of year. I love this type of weather. It's cool, but not too cool. It's comfortable. It's not sweaty. It's nice to be walking when it's not super hot. Now, it's been a while since I've had any kind of regularity with recording videos because we haven't been around much. We've really been out and about, doing a lot of traveling. Okay, I'm taking off here. And so we do come back into town. I just have other things to do. But I do appreciate all of you guys that watch my videos. Last time I checked, I was like at 300 subscribers. Thank you very much to those of you that are new. Thank you for those that keep coming back. I really appreciate it. So 300 subscribers, and it will be 3 years in January that I've been recording. Very grateful for each and every one of my subscribers and certainly all of my viewers. It's exciting for me that you guys actually put up with listening to me. Okay. Now we're getting to... There's a Colgate-Palmolive building. And I guess that's the HQ. But I think what surprises me, here's the Ritz Tower. Residential. Oh, Harry's of London. I'm thinking of Harry's Bar, actually. I'm not thinking of Harry's Clothes. Savile Row. I was thinking of Harry's Bar. Harry's Bar is in... where was it? David and I went to it because, it was renowned, Harry's Bar. What city was that? I should know. If you remember, let me know. Or if you know, let me know. I think it's a European... It's in a European city. It's not North America, I don't think. Harry's Bar. Okay, we're on 57th. So I will conclude the video once we get to 45th. Oh, you know what? Maybe what I'll do is I'm going to show you the path that I took from Grand Central Terminal to get back onto Park Avenue. I just want you guys to see it. It's a nice, convenient thoroughfare because when the MetLife building was first constructed, apparently back in the day when it was constructed, New Yorkers were very unhappy with it because it broke up Park Avenue. And but to the builders the architects of MetLife, of the MetLife building, they made this large thoroughfare for people to get through to. Now, maybe there is a way from the Helmsley Hotel to connect with the MetLife building so that you can walk straight through. I'm sure there is, but I didn't see it. It didn't look really hard, but it makes it really convenient to connect up with Park Avenue. So I'm just thinking that maybe the reason why I didn't see an entry from the MetLife Tower into the Helmsley Hotel Tower was because maybe it's private, it's a hotel. They don't want that thoroughfare of pedestrians cutting through. I could be totally wrong, but we'll see. Ferrari. No surprise to see Ferrari on Park Avenue. And all the really high-end bougie retailers are on 5th and Madison Avenue. So 5th and along 5th, and then parallel is Madison Avenue, a couple blocks to the east. And a lot of bougie retailers in large scale They almost look like department stores. Okay. Now, I think up ahead where you can see the scaffolding to this side of the street, I think that's the Waldorf Astoria. Now, can't remember who owned it back in the day. Oh, darn, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not the Astors. Was it the Astors? Anyhow, they had a house that was located just south, like right beside the Waldorf Astoria. And it was like an 8-story, 5-story home. And I don't think it exists anymore. And then the Waldorf Astoria was built right next to it. And that was a relative or a nephew that had built the Waldorf Astoria right next to his, I think it was his aunt. But who was it? It was somebody famous. I'll try and remember to put a notation as to what family had that house and who initially owned the Waldorf Astoria. What the actual name of the family was. Was it Waldorf? Was it Astoria? Is it Astor? Enough. I'll just put the notation down below. But the sun is coming up. It's very bright and sunny, as you can see. It's beautiful out. I'm overdressed now. I'm really warm. So after I film this, I'm going to hit Trader Joe's. And I'm going to go home and have a nice cup of tea. And we do have a lot of dessert in the house, so I think I might enjoy a cup of tea with a large piece of cake. We have a really yummy cinnamon cake that is just delicious. Lots of ice cream. We had cookies, they're long gone. Maybe I should pick up some cookies, add that to my little Trader Joe's list. And then the restaurant we're going to is, as I mentioned, south from where we are. I think it's quite a bit south. Might be a good half-hour walk, if not more. There's so much history here, and there are buildings that I pass that I know there's a lot of history attached to them. Like, there's that top of that. Is that a church maybe, or some perhaps building of worship? Oh, it's so lovely. If you ever get the chance to come to New York, your most important personal item to bring is a couple of good pairs of walking shoes. Ah, yes, it is the Waldorf Astoria. Right ahead, you can see the scaffolding, and then right below there, the sort of roof of the scaffolding, or well, I should say roof, on top of the sidewalk rather, you can see Waldorf Astoria, East 50th Street and Park Avenue. Now, I won't be able to show you the front of it because it's covered up, but maybe we can look at the front doors. So there's residences, and I suspect it's still a hotel. Oh, these are the entry to the residences. Ooh, looks nice. Now, who knows what's hidden behind here? That's really too bad. There's so much of that, so much of this, rather, in so many parts of New York City. So I don't know if you guys can see right at the very end there. There's the Helmsley building, and then right above is MetLife. And the time says, if I'm reading it correctly, it's about 10 after 1. Yeah, if we were on Fifth Avenue right now, or even Madison Avenue, there's so much shopping on both of those streets, it would be jammed with pedestrians on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. But walking Park Avenue, the streets, the sidewalks are larger, and there's less pedestrian traffic. But really, I guess if you're going to come this north on Park, you're probably going to be visiting somebody, or during the weekday perhaps doing some business. But to come up here and do shopping, there's not much shopping at all on Park Avenue north of 45th. Okay, that's blocked off. Probably because of, I guess it's the structure of this, oh yeah. Yeah, so that whole street is blocked off, except for the sidewalk, just to build that tall building. Loving my time here, folks. And I'm already feeling anxious that I've got 6 days left. I love all my vacations. I love all of our trips. I'm very grateful to be able to travel. But, I always look forward to going home because I love being at home. But New York, something magical about this girl. She is a breathtaking city, diverse, accepting, all types of people, all walks of life. Just, I find so cosmopolitan, such a sophisticated city. Everything is here. If I look for something, I just need to Google it and I find it. When I'm back home, I usually either have to order it from someplace else or, wait till I go someplace else and pick it up. But here, anything you want is here. Now, I am going to, so here's the Helmsley building. I think it's still a hotel. That entrance looks beautiful. So I am going to cut through here, see where it takes me. Now this is 46th, I think I'm on right now. Bobby Vance, the original New York Bobby Vance. I guess that was popular, a popular steakhouse, Bobby Vance. If you guys have ever heard about it, let me know. There's Leah's Wine Bar. Looks like it's connected. Grand Central Terminal. Grand Central Terminal. Now, can I walk through here? Let's try it. Let's see. Will it take me? Oh, yes, it will. Okay. Okay. I may end up just either turning off this part of the video or just going back up, but it says to Grand Central Terminal, so that's where I'm going. Oh, okay, this looks promising. Yeah, so I guess this is the thoroughfare. Hopefully. Okay, I'm underground here. Okay. Okay, here, Grand Central and Subway. Okay, hey. Now I've just got to get up to street level. Why am I the only one down here? Long Island Railroad. You know, every time I read Long Island Railroad, I think back to, I think it was it in the 80s? Maybe the 90s, I don't remember, where there was an incident on the Long Island Railroad where a guy was shooting people on the train. It was a long time ago. And I remember watching part of the trial, because now you can get anything on YouTube, watching part of the trial where he was, I think, defending himself at one point, if not throughout the whole trial, I can't remember, but anyhow, he was questioning people about, like, the witnesses that were on the train and that survived, witnessing, and they were on the witness stand, and he was cross-examining them. Those fans do feel nice. Oh, this is so cool. Hey, I didn't get lost. I'm here. Here we are. This is where I left you guys in my last video. Wow, awesome. Okay. I'm so thrilled. Okay, folks. Well, thanks once again for joining me in today's video. And again, to all my subscribers and viewers, thank you very much for supporting my channel and just watching, and maybe consider, pressing that like button, and for those viewers who are not subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.